This is Fiesta Island. Every year there is the over-the-line tournament with the professional volleyball players. Basically, it's TNA and beer and TNA, lots of TNA. And that's why it's packed every year. I don't really go to it because I don't like crowds. So we're going around Fiesta Island. It's one way only, 25 miles per hour. There's a dog beach on the other side. Doggone it. Damn, I'm gonna have to pull over for this retard. Fucker. When I first started riding, I had an epiphanies. A lot of you have vlogged about, having an epiphany about your riding. You know what you're supposed to do, but when it actually comes time to start riding, sometimes you forget to do some of those things because there's just so many things going through your head, But anyway, one of the first epiphanies I had, and it sounds so trite, when I would come up to a stop sign or stoplight, I couldn't figure out why my bike is wobbling like I'm going to fall over. And I finally figured it out. I'm looking down at the ground. So, of course you're going to wobble because you go where you look, right? So that was like my first epiphany. And it was a huge relief because when I started keeping my head up and looking, in front of me instead of down, it just made a really big difference. And I, of course, stopped wobbling and my riding got better incrementally. What was the second thing? Oh, and I knew that, having a death grip on the handlebars made things worse. But I couldn't figure out why I was not riding well still after so much time on the bike. And finally, one day, kept my hands loose. I just tried to totally relax and just chill. And it made the biggest difference. I knew I was supposed to do that. Everybody said, stay loose, keep your arms bent, lighten up. When I stopped doing that, it was like, oh, yeah, that is so much better. And then my rides just got better again. It's hard to believe that when you're not supposed to do that, but you do it anyway. You don't even really realize you're doing it. And then I think the third one, I realized one day when I was on a ride in the mountains with my husband and I was behind him, I realized, I'm looking at him and I'm not looking at the road. I'm not looking through the curve. Now, I've read on some bike forums that some people learn better when they follow a more experienced rider and they watch how they're cornering and it helps them get better. But not being fixated, on the person in front of you. So now I figured out, I was looking at him so much that I wasn't looking through the turn, I wasn't looking where I was going, I was looking straight ahead. So when I started really turning my head and looking all the way through the curve, that helped. And and not fixating on anybody in front of me, except watching their entry and their outry, their how they enter and exit a turn. That made a big difference too. So it's taken quite a bit of time before I learn to listen to these epiphanies. You listen to epiphanies? No, when these epiphanies reveal themselves to me, my motorcycling got better. Maybe someday my vlogging will actually get better. Because I don't make much sense sometimes. But yeah, my turns in the mountains and on the twisties got a little bit better. Mind you, I'm not fast at all. But I ride my own ride, which is very important, and I look more at where I'm going and what I'm doing, and relaxing and trying to keep my head up and really stay focused. It's hard to stay focused in some of these beautiful areas we ride through because the scenery is just gorgeous. Epiphanies. How long did it take you? Were they like a total eye-opener, changed your riding experience? For sure, for sure.